My name is Coach Steve, founder of Joy and Success Coaching. Today's video is going to be a review of the book The Invisible Game by author Bobby Rio. Filming this as a live video because this is a very big, long book. This is over 400 pages, so I wanted to make sure I could film a long enough video to touch on everything that is contained herein. Bobby Rio is a life coach from New Jersey. He is a relationship coach and has been in the industry for easily 20 years' time, maybe even slightly more. He has a YouTube channel with almost 500,000 followers and also has a website that he's been running, which is full of articles and videos as well. This book was just released in 2025, I believe. And I believe it is self-published. I had gotten it through Amazon. I believe Amazon is the only place you'll be able to find it. There are 20 chapters in this book. Yeah, over 20 chapters. It is close to 400 pages. And it is going over everything. Like everything. Like some of the topics discussed could easily be a whole book unto themselves. In some case, they actually are. I mean, I've found things that I thought were similar to other books I've purchased, such as Dr. Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy, Dr. Nedra Tawwab's Set Boundaries, Find Peace. I mean, this book absolutely is a masterclass on the topic of dating and relationships, as you would expect from somebody with Bobby's experience in the industry and speaking on the topic. The beginning chapters set up the opening and talks about the concept of the invisible game, a few frequently asked questions that he's run into as a coach, and some of the, I guess, starting considerations. So this book, by and large, is a book that is written for a predominantly male audience in, by and large, opposite gender relationships. I feel a lot of the messages probably could be reinterpreted as needed for gender nonconforming or same-sex relationships, but the author seemed to have been targeting a more cisgender heterosexual audience, so a lot of the language is really just direct, the man, the woman, etc. But in order to not make it a million-page book with all of the permutations added and considered, I mean, I guess I get that forewarning out of the way. But yeah, it is an absolute masterclass of a topic, and Bobby doesn't even just talk from his own perspective. He works or has worked in the past with several other coaches whose wisdom and anecdotal evidence comes up. He mentions some of his cooperating coaches and business partners, Chris Anderson, and a Rob Judge. He even mentions a fellow John Sin, who I believe was an affiliate of the guy Mystery back in the day. So this book is really not just his own lived experience or anecdotal evidence, of which there is a lot peppered throughout. He talks about a moment in time when he really messed things up terribly with a girl actually going as far as to show up unexpectedly at a work event of hers and pick an actual physical fight with a guy she might have been dating because he was on that level of not having any emotional autonomy, which I guess gets into part 2 of the book when he gets past discussing the concepts of being a nice guy and etc., everything that goes wrong with nice guy syndrome and this almost manipulative tendency to try to say, like, oh, if I'm nice, now you owe me a favor, so can I have that sex now because I was nice? Because women see right through that. This nice guy behavior is manipulative. It is not nice at all. But yeah, the pyramid of power is the entire second part, and it talks about some of the things that Bobby Rio believes would benefit a man in developing himself. Talks about emotional autonomy and emotional self control, having standards and boundaries, having the ability to lead an interaction with a woman, the de idolization or the de pedestalization of women, being able to be normal and just treat them as a human, not as some almost living goddess, and really having a locus of control that is your own, knowing what it is you can and can't control, and knowing how to operate with that. In part three, it talks about tension triggers and being a positive challenge, being tested, and being able to pass those tests with a bit of tact and decorum, being able to play it cool and say the right things, not as a gimmick or as some rehearsed line, but as an actual, just instinctual Zen calmness in yourself, an actual sincere confidence based around competence in yourself. I mean, there are chapters that also really have action calls. Try this, and for a week's time, consider this. The next time you interact with someone, do this. So it is not just a book of philosophy, it is also a book of action and considerations, things that you can begin to integrate into your daily life and behavior that will hopefully lead women towards desire and give you the ability to escalate. I mean, he talks in here as well about that escalation is attractive, that shrinking away is likely not going to elicit a positive response from a woman, that she wants someone who's going to stop apologizing for being a man, or more importantly, stop apologizing for even just simply existing. Unfortunately, a lot of men go through life just saying, oh, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that. Oh, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Like, you don't need to be sorry all day, every day. Like, some shame-a-thon isn't your destiny. But, yeah, in the over 400 pages, this book, Bobby has done an absolute masterclass and a half. As I said earlier, there's 4 or 5 books that I've already read, which, if coupled together into an almost 1,000-page book, would have essentially boiled down to be everything Bobby covers in this book. But it's written in a really accessible way. Again, Bobby is a fellow from, I guess, New Jersey, from the Mid-Atlantic region, so it comes off like you're almost just talking to a friend about the subject. It's not a really heavy academic book full of all this highfalutin language or nothing. It really even has examples from some of his clients, real kind of, simple, like almost texts as you would be talking to a friend. Like, instead of saying, wow, I could never do that, you're so amazing, you could try telling her, well, that's impressive, but what drove you to achieve that? Again, the benefits of genuine curiosity in your interactions instead of supplicating and pedestalizing. So it's really accessible language all throughout the book. I'll have to say, the only thing I've noticed that I thought really jumped out is there are a small handful of typos. I mean, they're not so extreme that you can't catch where it's going, but a few times things are maybe not capitalized correctly, or a few names are spelled slightly differently, but not so much that you can't tell. It's referring to the same individual within the context of the story. I think a fellow Xander's name might have been spelled with an X and then an XZ as an example, but again, real minor misspellings that don't impact the accessibility of the wisdom in the book. But yeah, to begin to wrap this up, I think Bobby Rio, with his book, The Invisible Game, which is available through Amazon, has done an absolute remarkable masterclass on the subject. There is also actually a QR code which will take you to 4 separate additional bonus videos. They are about 2 hours worth of content, which I do not believe appears at all on his YouTube channel. You will need your Amazon purchase code in order to unlock the videos, though. You won't be able to just scan the QR code and open them up without having purchased a copy of the book, but they are 2 whole hours going in greater context over some of what he calls the pyramid of power and the importance of avoiding a scarcity mindset and having emotional autonomy. So, if you're on the fence about picking up the book, I could say that the additional bonus content available with the purchase code is worth it itself. It is 2 whole hours worth of bonus content throughout them 4 videos, separate of the almost 20 chapters contained therein. And hopefully, yeah, you'll check out Bobby Rio's YouTube. You'll check out his book, The Invisible Game, and some of the videos he's got there. He also has an entire online community. I believe it is called the Untamed Man community that he has been doing for a few years now with some of the other coaches that I've mentioned that he has examples from contained in this book, a Rob Judge and a Chris Anderson. So, yeah, I would highly encourage you to go on over to Amazon and pick up a copy of The Invisible Game, to check out his website and his YouTube and some of his work. And hopefully you guys will check on back here for some additional book reviews and live videos and some wisdom and insight for myself. And if you guys are looking to schedule any coaching or look further into speaking with some of your concerns to somebody, you can always reach out to me at joyandsuccesscoaching@gmail. I will be the only one to read your emails, and I will maintain your confidentiality as a client throughout the whole process. So you can always feel free to reach out at joyandsuccesscoaching@gmail. Also, with some recommendations for other books you think it would be worth it for me to review here on my channel. Until then, I'm wishing you guys the best of joy and success, and I'm hoping you'll check out this book and have a good weekend. You take it easy.